Happy New Christmas.
Yes.
Happy Christmas Eve, everybody.
Did you almost say Happy New Year?
I almost did. If I'd have started with Merry, I'd have been all right. But Happy usually goes with Happy New Year. But
you could have said Happy Holidays.
I like not forgetting Christmas. People got kind of goofy for a while not wanting to say Christmas. But we're saying Christmas again.
What about all our Hanukkah celebrators?
Well, for those of you who are of the Jewish faith, and I think this is the first time, I heard this the other day, and I don't know how many years that Christmas and Hanukkah fall on the same day.
Yeah.
I guess that's been a long time. But
and Kwanzaa too, right?
I don't know about Kwanzaa as to what day it actually is. But yes, for all of you of other faiths celebrating, we welcome you as well. Mike Smith, Aaron Glandon, Dan Ramey is off this week. He's coming back, I think, New Year's Eve day, which would be next Tuesday. He's on some much-deserved R&R, taking it easy, we hope. Hopefully the grandkids aren't running him ragged with playing Santa and all that. I wore festive red and yellow today to prepare for today's. I thought about wearing a Santa hat, but I couldn't find it. Laura's got one that she wears on Christmas Day, but
I'm just wearing black.
The man in black, Johnny Cash. Your mom says I look like Johnny Cash.
You kind of do look like Johnny Cash. I think you look like Merle Haggard.
I don't have the scruff that Merle had. But before we get into topics from all of us here at Litter Media, we certainly wish all of you a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. We appreciate you being with us today. Christmas Eve as a kid. What was that like for you?
When I was a kid, we would open one present on Christmas Eve because we usually went to the Christmas Adam service at church. Mm-hmm. And then we would drive around and look at lights. Mm-hmm. And on Christmas Eve, we would go to the Bacon Haster's house for a party.
Mm-hmm. Which we're doing today.
Right. And then...
But you're stiffing them.
Well... I have to go to my fiance's family and spend Christmas with them at some point.
Yeah, I'm learning all about what that's possibly going to be like today.
And then we would open a present on Christmas Eve, and we would go to sleep. And I wouldn't sleep.
That's where I was going. I wanted to know, could you sleep on Christmas Eve?
No, I never could.
Okay.
And then me and Katie would wake up as early as possible Christmas morning.
Mm-hmm. And wake everybody up.
Yes, usually like 5 a.m.
Now, at our house, it was kind of the same way, only we didn't open anything on Christmas Eve. I think sometimes we would go to a family member on my dad's side, and we would do that. But at our house, we had to wait. Now, when we were kids, my youngest sister, Marilyn, she was always the last one awake. And we were told before we went to bed, do not go in and wake Marilyn up before we, the parents, get up. Dad was always the last one up. And we would sneak downstairs and we'd shake Marilyn's bed. As if we weren't doing it, but, try to, and then sneak out of the room. And then it was like Marilyn woke up. I don't know how well that...
Miraculously.
I don't know how effective that was, but I think everybody's got stories like that they could tell about Christmas Eve, but we wish you well tonight and tomorrow. Let's look at the weather. If you're going over the river and through the woods to Grandma's house, you got some decent weather to do it in. Mostly cloudy today, which is Tuesday as we do this show live, a high of 45. Clouds and a chance of rain on Christmas Day. Let's see. Does it give a chance of rain on our little thing there? I'm blocked out by the camera.
I don't see one.
I don't see a percentage of rain.
I don't see it.
I think on my app I showed, let's see, Christmas Day. Well, my app doesn't say it, but all the weather people last night were saying there's a chance of rain on Christmas. But we're looking for a high of 46 Christmas Day. Cloudy and even warmer Thursday through next Monday with highs in the 50s and some rain possible for the weekend. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the highlights of what's happening in and around our community on this Christmas Eve day. All that ahead on Litter Media Live.
First, we want to tell you about Haynes Total Healthcare Center. They're celebrating 50 years of serving the chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs of the community. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on littermedia.com, and it will take you right to their website to learn more. HaynesHealth.com.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, oh, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
We want to encourage you to bookmark littermedia.com, where you'll see all of the news that we're talking about today, as well as some other things that we might not mention. And there's a link to our YouTube right there on the right. You see all of our most recent videos. You see our social media pages in the top right. It's really just the best place for you when you open up your computer for the first time.
And for those media outlets that won't be doing anything tomorrow, we already have 2 stories that will be released Christmas morning.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that at littermedia.com.
Yeah, and here's a list of all the homes that were in the Chillicothe Christmas Lights contest. These were on full display last night for the final night of the Transit Systems Trolley Tour. And you'll find later this week a video on our Litter Media YouTube channel of some of these houses on display.
Yeah, well, yesterday we were telling you the different category winners, which they're included here in this graphic. If you're, for those of you that are listening on the radio, Litter Media Radio, what are the other addresses there?
11 Melrose Place, 2 Baldwin Court. The Cherokee one was the winner of Rockwell. Mm-hmm. Who was the Griswold winner? Western Ave?
1911.
So the other house there is 56 Leggett Avenue. And on Techmas, the other contestant is 330 Piatt Avenue. Piatt Avenue.
And, of course, 77 Timberlane Drive is the winner, and the Griswold winner, as we told you yesterday, was 1911 Western Avenue. Speaking of Christmas lights and so forth, Light Ohio Blue Operation Santa Sleigh was held at the Chillicothe Veterans Affairs Medical Center yesterday, and everybody was tickled with how that all went. Here's some aerial, I'm assuming some drone shots of all the lights out at the VA Medical Center, and they wanted to send out a big thank you to everyone who attended to make this evening special for all of our tremendous veterans who are still residents out at the VA Medical Center. The Pump House Center for the Arts is open until 1:30 this afternoon, Christmas Eve day, for last-minute holiday gifts. But after 1:30, as they always do, the Pump House then closes through the month of January, which is their annual month foreclosure, and then the Pump House Center for the Arts will reopen on February for the Best of Ross County High School art show. So if you need some last-minute gifts or you want to see something at the Pump House, get there by 1:30 today, or you'll have to wait till February.
Inmates from the Going Home for Good unit at Ross Correctional Institution have donated $500 to sponsor the Mighty Ice Rink in Chillicothe. Because of donations like this, the public can enjoy this ice rink free of charge.
It's kind of neat when you see the inmates at CCI or RCI doing something for the community like this. The title of the group says it all, Going Home for Good. Some of these guys are about ready to be released after serving their time, and for a number of years they've been doing things in the community to try to show that, they're new people, and they want to show the community that they are good citizens to help us all out.
Absolutely.
The 2025 Ross County 4-H Building Block Challenge will be held on February 20th at the Ross County Service Center. Ross County 4-H Junior Leaders Club will be welcoming participants to an out-of-this-world engineering challenge called Mission to the Moon. The challenge is groups that should be ready to lift off, and this will have constructing space certified building block projects and exploring the world beyond planet Earth. You can push the youth to develop new skills, learn about the engineering process, and explore Ross County 4-H. 15 teams from 3rd through 8th grade will participate in age-appropriate challenges. Now, if your group would like to get in on this, the deadline to register is February 1st, and you need to go to go.osu.edu/buildingblock25. Now, I can only imagine what this would all be about, but we know that from a lot of the space missions, especially on the International Space Station, and you're too young to remember Skylab, which was our own kind of like space lab up there. There are plants that they send up there to see how they'll grow in space.
Wow.
So I don't know if this is part of what this is all about, but sounds like it could be exciting. Not quite as much sports as we usually have, but we do have some things to talk about all coming up during our sports section at Litter Media Live. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. A number of times I remind potential customers out there, or maybe you are an Accurate customer, maybe you've never utilized the maintenance agreement. This is something that is well worth the money. Twice a year they come out. They will go over your heating or cooling system to make sure everything is right. The technicians are fantastic. They always come into the house if I'm there or my wife is there to tell us what they found. On occasion, they find something that needs to be taken care of to prevent even bigger problems. It's worth your while. Give them a call, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and while you're at it, ask about that maintenance project or program that they have that they come out twice a year. And tell them Mike Smith advised you about that. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Life, it can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Scioto Valley Dumpsters, for a free estimate. We always have the phone number up there, make it easier for you. But for those of you listening in on Litter Media Radio, you can't see that. That's why we always tell you what you can see on the screen if you're watching Facebook Live. 253-8389, a free estimate for a dumpster that can come your way. Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Let's jump in sports. High school basketball last night. This top story, I sent Aaron 3 different screenshots of this because every time I would get what I thought was a score, it was wrong. Logan Elm handed Fairfield Union boys their first MSL Buckeye loss of the season. This is going to be an interesting race this year. Circleville was flying high. They were undefeated. They've now lost a couple of games, one in conference and one outside the conference, as we can see there, because Uniontown beat Circleville boys last night. But, yes, Logan Elm only their second win of the season for the boys as they beat Fairfield Union by 3. Elsewhere in non-conference play, as we mentioned, Uniontown 20 better than Circleville. Bloom Carroll beat Johnstown. Athens over Belpre. Rock Hill over Portsmouth West. Portsmouth lost to Lawrence County, Kentucky, and Federal Hocking over Miller. A couple of biggies in girls non-conference basketball. Vinton County beat Chillicothe 53-33. Logan Elm knocked off Zane Trace. Portsmouth over Gallia 55-24. In a battle of unbeatens, Waterford takes down Athens. First loss for the Lady Bulldogs, 54-39. But Waterford also beat Uniola here a couple of weeks ago, so they are really pretty good. They were the state runner-ups, I think, 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Notre Dame beat South Gallia 44-37. Liberty Union beat Licking Valley. Now, the New Boston at Western girls game, that has been postponed until January the 21st. It was not played last night. Our Litter Media Radio Game of the Week on Friday night, yours truly and BJ Daly. Aaron will also be there with his camera, handy-dandy camera. Boys basketball, Circleville at Westfall. This is part of the Brad Morris Pickaway County basketball challenge. We were talking a little bit about Brad yesterday, great reporter for many years that passed away. Games at Westfall, including girls and boys, I think that starts at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 or 3 on Friday. All of those games are at Westfall. The game that we're broadcasting, Circleville, Westfall boys, that's the nightcap at about 7:30. And then they'll do it again with different matchups of the 4 Pickaway County schools at Logan Elm on Saturday, but we'll only be there on Friday night. Chillicothe High School grad Tre Beard led the Shawnee State Bears with 21 points last night in their 79-73 win over Lourdes. Now, this is even spelled like Lourdes, France, but I didn't know there was a Lourdes college or university anywhere in this region.
I don't know.
But because I'm pretty sure that France didn't come to play Shawnee State.
Maybe it's all exchange students.
You know, I wondered, maybe on a exchange trip, but no. Lourdes losing to the Bears. The Bears. But big night for Tre Beard at Chillicothe with 21.
The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Utah Jazz last night, 124-113. And the Columbus Blue Jackets, this is news. Wow. They got a win, 5-4 over Montreal.
Or as they say up in Montreal, Le Canadien. Yes.
That is what they say.
5-4. Let's see. I think there's an NFL game tomorrow.
Yes. Chiefs and Steelers? Is that right?
Maybe. I know it's a
Netflix.
biggie. I know it's a biggie as far as the standings are concerned.
It's on Netflix.
Might be. Kind of funny yesterday, and I won't embarrass her on the air, the lady that I was talking to. She asked if there was any college football games being played yesterday. And I said, yeah, the Myrtle Beach Bowl. And she said, well, where's that? Myrtle Beach. And Coastal Carolina, who they don't play in this bowl game every year. They just were given the opportunity this year. I think both teams that were playing were 6-6. But the last time I checked in on it, because that's Coastal Carolina's home field, they were behind 21-0, I think, in the first quarter. Wow. So they could have come back and won it, but I didn't stay with it. After I saw 21-0, I thought, I got other things I got to do. When we come back, we're going to be talking about there's usually nothing funny about war, but when this guy would entertain the troops, it was always a welcome hoot from home. And we're going to take you back to 1972 on this date in history when we come back on Litter Media Live.
Litter Quality Propane, 92 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
Wherever you are there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming, he explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
All right. 1972, comedian Bob Hope gives what he says is his last Christmas show to U.S. servicemen in Saigon, which, of course, was South Vietnam. The comedian and star of stage, radio, television, and over 50 feature films was on his 9th consecutive Christmas appearance in Vietnam, entertaining the troops. Hope endorsed President Nixon's bombing of North Vietnam to force it to accept U.S. peace terms and receive South Vietnam's highest civilian medal for his anti-communist zeal. Although some anti-war protesters criticized Hope for supporting government policies in Vietnam, the comedian said he believed it was his responsibility to lift spirits by entertaining the troops. Of course, Bob Hope, for those of you like me who are old enough, Bob did this in World War II. He would go to Europe. I don't know if he visited some of the Japanese islands or not. He probably did. Not the Japanese, but the islands off Japan. He did the same thing in South Korea during the Korean conflict. He did this for 9 years. I think the reason he made this announcement, I think he had been told by President Nixon that he's going to wind this thing down as far as the U.S. involvement. So it wasn't a slight on the troops. I think it was said in a way that the troops knew we're not going to be having to stay here much longer. And I think all of our guys were out by 74 as they started to wind down that. But what a tremendous giver of his time. Bob Hope doing that every Christmas time going back to World War II. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he went over to the Middle East when we were there in 1990 for the first Iraq War. So he was always a giving person when it came to our servicemen. And I'm pretty sure that the Navy named a ship, because that's a thing, when you build a new warship, it's named after somebody. I can't remember whether it was a cruiser, destroyer, or what, but there was one named for Bob Hope. And I think he was probably given an honorary rank of some kind. I'm not sure. He might have said, just make me a buck private or something like that. But Bob Hope in Saigon for the last time in Vietnam on this date in 1972. Any well wishes for our listeners before we close? Since we won't be here tomorrow, we'll be back on Thursday, good Lord willing, on the day after Christmas.
Yeah, just want to say Merry Christmas and have a safe time. Don't do anything reckless.
That's right.
Be responsible. Don't drink too much eggnog.
Yeah. Celebrate, but celebrate responsibly. Law enforcement will be out in force even tonight. Hopefully they won't have to stop anybody for erratic driving. So like Aaron said, nothing wrong with celebrating, but do it responsibly. Have a great Christmas, everybody. As we said earlier, celebrate with your family and friends. And I know there are some folks out there that may not have family close by, but just know that the good Lord loves you, and that's why he sent his son to die for all of us and all of our sins. But that's what we are supposed to be celebrating in Christmas. Aaron and I will be back with you on the day after Christmas, Thursday morning, for our 11 o'clock show. So until that time, from all of us at Litter Media and all of the litter companies here in our community, we wish you a very Merry Christmas. So long.